What's going on, guys, and welcome to April's episode of Game of the Month, the show where we pick a game random every month, and at the end of the month we talk about it. This month was a little different. We actually picked jointly our Game of the Month, which was Split Fiction. My name's Seth, and joining me, of course, is Chevy. Chevy, are you excited to talk about Split Fiction? I hope you're doing good, and are you excited to find out what we will be playing in May, an actual randomly picked Game of the Month?
Yeah, I would say the last 2 months have been picks because
Yeah.
you kind of pulled rank from Monster Hunter. So
Yep.
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing what we're playing. It's been 2 months since we got to get a random pick, so it's always kind of fun to see what our fate basically is.
On top of what PlayStation Plus decides to give us for Plus Club every month is always a surprise. At least with this, though, we have a little more insight on what the possibilities are.
Right. Yeah, and other than that, I'm looking forward to talking about this. We
Beat it.
made an effort. Yep.
We played through it. We beat it. This will be a full review.
Yeah.
Might touch a little bit on spoilers. Maybe we should warn people. I feel like this should more so serve as, what we thought of it, and if people should maybe play it.
I could probably avoid spoilers.
Yeah, I don't think we need to talk full spoilers. Yeah. So yeah, if you're interested in watching this and not hearing spoilers, I don't think we're gonna touch them. So, and if we do, we'll throw a warning out there. Okay, so glad you're doing good. I'm doing good. I'm excited to talk about this as well. This was definitely an experience, but I'm also very excited to find out what we're gonna be playing in May. That's the month. Yeah, so for new people around here, like I said before, we randomly pick based off this wheel. These are all back burner games. We discussed this before, kind of take games off, put games on that we'd be interested in playing, but we want it to be random. Some months I pick, we pick together, Chevy picks, and then you guys pick on the last community pick game of the month, or the last pick in general.
Which we do have some of your picks on this list from the last time. So
yeah, Pokemon Infinite Fusion, I believe, and then Core Keeper. Yep. So those are on there from you guys, and we still haven't gotten them yet. Maybe we'll get them today. But we're going to spin this wheel. We're going to find out what we're playing in May, and then at the end of May, we will do our impressions and or full review of whatever we played. Are you ready to find out what we are going to play in May?
Yep.
All right. Let's spin the wheel in 3, 2, 1, go. It is spinning, and it is slowing down finally. We have added some new games on here I didn't even mention, and it looks like it's going to land, surprisingly, on Icarus.
2 survival games this month. All right.
Very interesting. Yeah, on top of Ark. Oh, yeah. PlayStation Plus games are finally announced. That's Balatro, as I'm told you're supposed to say. Ark Survival Ascended and Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun. All games I have been very interested in trying, but not interested enough to buy them. So
I own Balatro, so
I
don't care how it's pronounced.
Balatro.
I don't care.
But yeah, on top of Ark, we will be playing Icarus. If you guys don't know what Icarus is, it is a survival game that originally came out as a game where you have to land on a planet, complete an objective in a certain amount of time, and leave. They have since then added some more like free roam, just typical survival modes, mounts, all sorts of stuff. And this is made by, I think his name's Dean Rocket Hall, the guy who made the original DayZ. So that's worth mentioning. And I'm honestly pretty curious about where the game's at right now. I haven't played it in a long time, so to see what they've done with it. I know they're still supporting it. They've been adding like expansions and shit to it, or DLCs. So quite a bit has changed with the game, I'm sure. So this will be a fun time for me revisiting the game. One thing I remember about the original experience of the game was there was like elemental effects that would happen, like crazy storms that would like light stuff on fire if the lightning hit stuff, and all sorts of crazy shit. So definitely curious to see what they've added in that regard. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I know I've played it.
You definitely played it.
I have very little memory of it though, so.
And at least you own it already, because you did play it with us. So
yeah, so I'm sure it'll like come back to me as I'm playing it, but it's honestly gonna feel probably like a new experience at this point. So
I think we reviewed it.
we did.
Yeah.
I remember playing it. I just don't remember anything about it anymore.
Yeah, I just remember you didn't like you liked it, and this will be interesting to talk about when we give our updated review because it's been so long. This will be really interesting. But you seem to have liked most of the stuff that the game offered in terms of the survival aspects.
Yeah.
You didn't like the system of having these timed missions where you had to drop down, build up, finish a mission, and then leave.
Yeah, I don't like roguelikes, so.
Yeah. Whereas I thought it was a refreshing take on the survival genre when there's so many survival games out there. So it'll be really interesting to see where this game's at now. And yeah, maybe we get some other people to play as well. It's been so long that I feel like there's going to be a lot of differences now. So
Probably.
you got anything else?
No.
All right, let us know in the comments what you guys think about Icarus. Are you excited to play it this month? And if you play it regularly, has it come a long way? Let us know everything you think about when it comes to Icarus in the comments below, but not too much because we have to discuss it at the end of the month. All right, so we played a game, and that game is called Split Fiction. If you get a chance to play Split Fiction, it is the fourth game by Hazelight Studios, the people who brought us It Takes Two, A Way Out, and Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. It is, like the other games, a hard cooperative game. You have to play it with somebody. Luckily, the game has a system where only one person has to own the game, and you send an invite to somebody else. We played on PC, and it seemed to have worked great.
I had no issues outside of some game stuff that happened, but no connectivity problems.
Yeah, it seemed to work good on my end as well. Loosely, the story is about two people who are hoping to be they're authors hoping to be published. Aspiring authors, Zoe and Mio, and they go to a place that they are hoping to get published at, and through circumstances that go awry, they are transported into their own stories. Mio is a sci-fi writer, Zoe is a fantasy writer, and the game bounces between different stories that they have written in the past. And yeah, they're basically trying to figure out why they're in there, how to get out, and they grow as characters. Yeah, it's a platformer, kind of. I mean, it's mostly a platformer.
Yeah.
It dabbles, like all their other games, in a lot of genres, a lot of different scenarios, a lot of crazy set pieces, and a lot of cooperative scenarios where you have to actually, in real time, figure things out and work together to use different mechanics to progress through the game. We both played it, and let's start out with your impressions of Split Fiction. I almost said Split Together. In April.
All right. So yeah, I've played. I have not played Brothers, but I've played all their other games, and
We've actually played all of them.
Yep.
Together,
and I have enjoyed them all immensely. My favorite prior to playing this game, because I'm obviously discussed my opinion on this yet, was A Way Out. I do prefer. I like the drama aspect of it. It's probably more my speed as far as the story goes. However, that being said, I have enjoyed the other experience as well. Not Split Fiction. It Takes Two. Yeah, it was a fun experience, though. I think it fails in some of its storytelling, and characters are kind of meh.
Yeah, A Way Out definitely has a better story and it's more dramatic. But I do like, and it'll kind of come into play here as well when it comes to talking about this game, but that they are dabbling in different places. Like A Way Out is a drama. It Takes Two is like...
Still technically a drama. It's just a different kind of drama.
Yeah, it kind of. It has more of whimsy to it. It's more comedic. It feels almost... I would say it's like a family movie. It feels a movie, but like... It's got some pretty dark shit in it, but this dev, for some reason, likes to dabble in the darker elements when you're not expecting it. And this game definitely is self-aware on that.
Yep.
But yeah, I think I agree with that. I think It Takes Two had way more to offer in terms of variety and them really flexing their muscle on what they can do with cooperative scenarios. But A Way Out felt like a more precise and focused experience that I think told a better story.
Yeah. Which was just a pretty heavy factor of that game for me.
Yeah.
I do think the newer their games get, the more of a game it is for sure. Like they've really expanded on that. So just to get past all that and get into my opinion of this game, I had some pretty high expectations at this point because they've just nailed it time and time again, and I've just enjoyed their experiences, and I'm happy to say I think they nailed it again. This game offers a lot of the stuff that I really liked about It Takes Two, but amplified it a lot and had a way better story and, in my opinion, more enjoyable characters and character development. So that was nice to see because regardless of the story and the characters, as long as the gameplay was at least as fun as the last game, I was going to enjoy myself. So
That's where I was at. I was like, they just need to do It Takes Two just with new scenarios and hopefully some better writing. And they did way more than that. While also not making It Takes Two feel obsolete.
Oh, for sure.
I was kind of worried that if they just made a better It Takes Two, it would make It Takes Two just like, oh, you play for the story, but it's not as good as like, Split Fiction. And while I still do think the Split Fiction is a better game all around, it's 1,000% worth, if you've played this but you didn't play It Takes Two, worth going back and playing It Takes Two because it's a completely different
100%.
experience because it plays, and this has like plenty of comedy in it as well, but the whole atmosphere of It Takes Two is just like so ridiculous.
Zany.
It's
Yeah.
so ridiculous, and in what they're doing with it. But this, I think, plays with a more charming humor. I think because of the writing and the characters, but it's also a lot more serious.
Yeah. Grounded. I think the story feels
Sure.
very grounded, right?
Yep.
And so like it's understandable, it's relatable. Like you could see it like outside of like the crazy, circumstances of them being in that situation. The rest of it is very believable, right? So, I think what this game also does very well is you have these two characters who are like very different from each other. You have one who's kind of like, well, me, kind of like blocked off from people and not like the most like excitable person, and then you have someone who's just like very bubbly, social, wants to like
Introvert and extrovert.
yeah, for sure. And it's they're kind of in this situation where they have to like figure it out, to go forward. They don't necessarily have to become friends, but they got to be able to get along, right?
Well, they're just forced to be around each other.
Yeah.
So
And I think it feels very natural the way that they interact with each other through the entirety of the game and grow as characters and as, partners, not in a romantic sense, obviously, in a friendship sort of sense. I think the visual style of the game is really good. They do a very good job of like touching multiple different types of sci-fi and fantasy elements in the game. If you're a fan of either or both, there's just a lot to enjoy in that regard, and the way they kind of play around with the puzzles and the mini games and stuff within these elements as well is a lot of fun.
yeah, I'm a fan of both sci-fi and fantasy, and I know you are, but as well. But I definitely lean towards sci-fi more. I'm a bigger fan of sci-fi than fantasy. I think they handled both really well, and I actually think the fantasy worlds of this were better than the sci-fi worlds. As much as I did love the sci-fi worlds as well, I thought they did a great job with the fantasy stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. They kind of did lean pretty heavy into like more like dystopian sci-fi pretty often.
Yeah, it was all similar sci-fi. Like,
yeah.
it would have been cool to see maybe something a little more cyberpunk or like, different kinds of sci-fi.
Yeah, and with the fantasy, you kind of cover a few different types for sure.
Yeah.
So, this game also has moments where you will find pockets of, I don't want to say too much, but you get these mini game or mini side story experiences where you get to like experience another perspective. So if you're in a fantasy world, you'll go to a sci-fi one. If you're in a sci-fi, you go to a
Basically, it's their takeoff of It Takes Two's versus sections. When you play through It Takes Two, you play like the main game. It has all these interactive things, but then you'll find like in the back corner like something that you can verse the person you're playing with. This, instead of having it verses, are just mini stories that the characters have in their heads that only like one or two of them were actually verses, and they weren't set up as like necessarily like a scoreboard at the end. It was like a narrative. When whoever wins, they kind of like comment on it and move on with their lives. And I think it's a much, even though you haven't really talked about it yet, I'm just jumping in.
Sure.
I think it's a much better system for a game you're already playing cooperatively with someone anyway. It kind of drops the animosity that could possibly be there if you're playing with somebody and like you're always winning or something. The other person you're playing co-op with might not like that. It kind of kills the mood. But in this, like when there is like one or two ones where you go against each other, it's like playful in the story and just moves on. And I think it's a way better version of what they did with It Takes Two.
Yeah, I also think because they're side stories, they really did some like super creative stuff.
They could do whatever the fuck they wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too detailed, but there was one towards the end that we did where it was kind of looked like a drawing. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, that one was really cool. I also thought the tooth and dessert world was ridiculous.
Yeah.
They
felt like their previous game.
yeah, 1000%. But I love that they even played with that.
Yeah.
And this game also has like Easter eggs from not only their prior games, which I thought was really cool, but nods to other games and other genres.
Oh, definitely.
Which I fucking loved. Like this is a video game that celebrates video games in general. So.
Yeah, there's some lines they'd say, and I just kind of like, okay, I get it. You know?
Or when you're sneaking around, you're in a box. Like,
yeah.
I'm just like, yep, obvious nod.
Yeah, and it's fun. The game length is pretty good. I'd actually say it's probably about perfect.
Yeah, great pace.
We
beat it, for anybody curious, in about 12 and a half hours.
Yeah.
So. And you can beat it in 10, but we were not speed running it. So.
Which I think is super reasonable because like it's, especially as an adult, it's like kind of hard to like get together with people to play games.
Yeah.
And so like long commitments, like I'm trying to play a little side shoot here. I've been trying to play Elden Ring co-op for over a year at this point. And it's difficult because it's a huge game. And you got to find that time to get people together. You know, it's the same as I like to raid in MMOs, but it's difficult as an adult. So
yeah, and you can like play like for 2 hours a session at the very least on this, and you're going to get a lot out of it.
For sure. I don't know what I can really say outside of what I've said as far as like what I enjoyed about the world and then stuff like that, because I don't want to get too spoilery. So, I mean, just kind of to sum up my thoughts on it, the entire experience I thought from beginning to end was enjoyable. I only ran into a couple issues. There was some bugs twice for me. One of them was not super noticeable, but there was one time when we were both playing and I was telling you I couldn't move, and you're like, you just do this thing. I'm like, no, I can't move.
Well, even before that, in the beginning of the game, there was a part where you were supposed to like shield something.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got stuck or something. You couldn't do the mechanic.
Yeah.
So we had to like reload it, and then it worked.
Yeah, and I think that might have been, as much as I said earlier, there was no networking issues. Maybe that was like we desynced or something. I don't know.
Could have been, yeah. But it could also just because it happened twice, and it was like mechanical issues. It wasn't like lag or something. So yeah, I don't know.
Did not deteriorate my experience. I do think that as a whole package, even though I do think the story in A Way Out is better, I do think this as a whole package is their best game for sure.
Yeah.
I loved my experience with it. I would absolutely play it again from the other perspective if I get the opportunity to. And yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you said. So basically, I loved this game. I've loved every game of theirs that I've played. I expected this game to be as good as It Takes Two. It is better than It Takes Two, and I mean that with the most respect possible towards It Takes Two. I think that game is fantastic. I love it. Won Game of the Year, and you can tell that they got some Game of the Year funding, yeah, because this game just it literally just has improved everything that I could have wanted. from It Takes Two. The writing is way better,
Way better.
both in the story, which is simple but a cool way to carry a story forward. The characters are written so much better
they feel like people.
than It Takes Two. There was not a single time where I was like, that was weird. Why did they say that? Or what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, there was some cheese, but that was about it.
Yeah, but like I genuinely thought these characters were like, I liked both of them.
Yeah.
I liked their dynamic. I liked their friendship building. I actually thought Zoe was funny. Mio's not really funny. She's not really that type of character, but her character development's like really fun. I really liked it.
Yeah, in fact, there was a moment we were playing where she's kind of like switching, and I was like, "Oh, interesting." So I can't say too much. It's a spoiler, but yeah, it was fun to watch her evolve as a person.
Yeah. So you have these like really human evolutions that I think work, which is cool because as much as I appreciated the premise of the last game, and I thought it worked just fine as a vessel to tell a story. It wasn't done in a convincing way that I actually like cared about the characters, and I thought the voice acting was really hit or miss. But in this, I none of that exists. I think I think all the actors did a great job.
Definitely.
I think they were written in a way that they didn't sound as like alien, I guess. So they really nailed that. Yeah, the gameplay is awesome. If I have like one complaint other than like the couple bugs we ran into, which does not affect my grade at all, it's not heavy enough for me to care to change that. But the game is so ambitious and so... The pacing in this game is almost perfect because they never make you do the same activity for too long. They are always constantly changing it. But with that, because the mechanics are changing so often, the environments are changing so often, there will be times where I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in a moment that something crazy is happening and I'd like die. Luckily, there's no penalty to dying in this game. So it's just a fun game. But there were multiple times where I'm like, oh shit, what am I supposed to do? And then I just die. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Not a big deal.
Or we'd be playing and like, it'd be like, a button mash thing, and one of us would be doing it and the other one's just kind of staring at the screen.
Yeah.
Like, oh crap.
Yeah. So like, it's just the pacing and like just the sheer amount of fucking an insane amount of different things you do throughout this game.
Yeah.
Like whatever kind of video games you like to play, it's in this. The variety is just insane. That's why I say it's like a video game for like video game fans celebrating video games. Like it just plays with like all the genres outside of like first person shooters, but it does like a lot of crazy shit, especially towards like the end of the game. Truly some fucking like stuff I've never seen in a video game.
Super imaginative. Yeah.
Really like, dare I say, innovative stuff in game design. I was very surprised with what I was seeing. I thought a lot of stuff was clever and fun in their last games. I'm like, oh, it's neat. Oh, they didn't have to do that. That's cool. This, I was like, they thought this up and they did this. I've never even seen a game try this before. So that's awesome. Like they really went fucking crazy with this game and they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Yeah, and then like the contrast between hopping between not only so many different varieties of mechanics and types of gameplay, but jumping between two full genres of sci-fi and fantasy in one game. The whole time, I just was loving the whole experience, but the whole time I was like, man, what would it be like if these guys just made like a sci-fi game? Yeah. Or what if they just made a fantasy game? In fact, I was wondering like, what if they did what they do already, but just had like a Way Out style, just a fantasy story with two characters in co-op, but implemented in some way, like some kind of soft progression or something to work towards. Like, they could do something really, because I'm like, how do you top this? Like, I thought the same thing with their last game, but then they did it. So I'm like, I don't know how you keep building upon this because like, and they're doing it, but like, I just, the whole time I was playing, I was like, man, they could do so many things. Mm-hmm. And at this point, I'll play it because they haven't made a bad game.
True.
I played Brothers back in the day, the original one, briefly, but I never beat it. I guess it's a super short game. But I want to buy the remake because that one actually has co-op. And that'd be cool to play through. But anyway, they've only made great games, and this one is absolutely, I agree with you. It's their best game by far. what else can I touch on without talking about the story? Which I think the story itself is good. Like I said, the writing's good. I do really like the character development. There was some emotional parts in the story that I thought worked. I did feel something for the situations. Wasn't sitting there like bawling or anything like that,
Sure.
but I was like, oh, this is actually like this works. Like the performances are good. The scenarios don't feel too like in your face. I had my theories with some of the characters as we're going through the stories, and as you know, it revealed what I thought. I wasn't even like, oh man, I guessed that. I was just like, no, that's cool. That works. That's perfect. So yeah, I really liked that, and it's just a fantastic game. It's a really good game. I would, unless, do you have more to say on this game?
The only other thing I would say is some of the scenarios can be a little on the challenging side, and fortunately, like you said, the there's not really a harsh punishment for failure, so you can just kind of slam your head against the wall over and over again to get through it. But specifically, there was a stealth part we had to do, and it was getting a little frustrating for me.
Yeah, but just like their past games too, when you play one character to the other, they both are doing completely different things. They'll have different mechanics, and so there's a reason to replay the game. And I can't wait to play it again as Zoe, because I played as Mio and you played as Zoe.
Yeah.
I think it's her name, Zoe, right? That sounds right.
I've been just nodding along with you this whole time anyway, so
If I got that wrong, someone's just gonna let me know. But
I'm terrible with names. So.
yeah, we just played it. I'm just doubting myself. But yeah, they have different experiences, and so from your perspective in that part, you had to do sneaking, and I had to shoot stuff, and because of the angles, it was
the camera angle was awful for me.
It was difficult to get certain information conveyed, but we got past it. And there's parts that I feel like probably would be pretty difficult for some people that we just flew through.
Yeah.
So your mileage is going to vary depending on what genres you're more used to, how quick you're catching on, and what they're throwing at you. There was a thing where I'll just say it was like cat dog that I thought they did some really creative stuff with that I think we did pretty good at. There's some parts that we were barely even communicating and just going.
Yeah.
So, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, what else?
No, that was basically all I was going to add was it can be challenging at times, but you'll get it eventually. It's not really that difficult. It's not punishing. God.
It does ask from you more than their past games did too, because A Way Out feels more almost like a Telltale game that's interactive. It has some parts you have to kind of do some mechanical things, but it's not that hard. It Takes Two definitely is some soft platforming and just kind of figuring out things while interacting with a lot of stuff. This has that as well, but this one actually had some stuff you got to be on top of your shit.
Well, some of the boss fights, you had to be attacking, jumping, and dodging.
They definitely added some challenge to it. So, not saying it's just Dark Souls or anything.
No, it's not crazy.
But it definitely was more than just I'm just interacting with the story. It's there was actually a little bit of challenge there. So
yeah. Unfortunately, similar to the other games, if one person is alive and the other person's down, you just kind of mash a button to get back in quickly. So but yeah.
You got nothing else?
Nope.
All right, let's jump into recommendations. I'm going to recommend it to everybody. I think everybody should play this game. I don't think there's a single gamer out there who shouldn't try this game. Even if you're not into what you think this game is, just play it. If you like any kind of gaming, you'll probably find something to enjoy here.
Unless you just hate playing games with other people.
Yeah, maybe you hate co-op games, but you're really not allowing yourself to experience something that can only be done with this co-op experience. And we've said that with their past games as well. That's what these guys do. And I'm glad that they don't allow people to play this with just an AI, because it wouldn't be the same. This game is designed for the co-op, and it's an experience you can only have with that co-op, and it's so better for it. So yeah, and they have that system where you only have to have one copy. So
I was telling a coworker about that today.
As long as you either know somebody who will play with you, or I'm sure you can go on a forum and somebody will play with you, especially people who are looking to play this game with somebody. I'm sure most of them are probably cool people just wanting to experience the story.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth playing. But yeah, and then like I don't want to get into like the controversial stuff that that happened for like a millisecond, but like some people were like opposed to playing this game because it's like 2 female main characters. Whatever your preconceived thoughts on that, like don't let that hold you back from experiencing just a really fucking awesome game. I saw some people voicing that like they thought it was like a woke game or something like that. Like it's stupid. I'm just trying to squash that right now. If you have that kind of thought process at all, and I know people who watch our channel don't have that thought process, but if you do have that at all, I'm telling you, just play it. You're not gonna feel that way. You're gonna fucking love this game. So, yeah, I can't hard recommend it in certain places because I think everybody should play it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything more specific you'd like to throw out there?
I mean, no. I mean, the biggest things I can even think of are, obviously it's a co-op game. Like that's what it is. But it is also very story heavy. So story heavy and platform heavy. If you enjoy those at all, this is a treat, I'd say. So.
Yeah. All right. Nothing else?
No.
Jump into grades. I had an experience with this game that I can't have with most games, and I think this is the best experience that they've done with their format that they do. I'm going to give this game an A+. I think it's fantastic. I have almost no complaints about it, and the only complaints I really had about it were technical issues that I wish weren't there, but they didn't hinder our experience. They were easily fixed. But outside of that, it's a really fun game. It's a really cool experience to have with somebody. It's a really cool story with cool characters, with heart, with comedy, with charm, and some truly creative stuff in gaming that I just would not expect to see from a platformer. But they really went out there with these ideas, and I feel like if you haven't played through this, you really should, because you're missing out on some really cool stuff in gaming if you don't play this. So yeah, A+. It's an easy A+ for me.
Yeah. I can't think of a single, outside of the two little tech issues we had. I had no actual problems with the game, so I think I'm also going to give it an A+. It's one of the most imaginative experiences I've had in video gaming. So
yeah, it's an awesome game across the board. I have there's nothing about this game I think is even okay. I think it's all great. So outside of the couple bugs, but whatever, we got around that. So yeah, okay. So we both gave it A+. I wasn't sure if you were gonna give it that high, but I was like, fuck it, dude, I'm just going high with this one. So I just really like it, and I think it's a game that it's fucked this year because it's like a game of the year type game. I think it could definitely win that. But I'm also playing Expedition 33, which I haven't finished yet. But I'm also like, this could also be game of the year.
Yeah.
But then Death Stranding 2 comes out this year, and I'm like, that's probably gonna be made for me. So that could be a game of the year. And then Grand Theft Auto is apparently still coming out this year, which a lot of people are everywhere on that, but that will be an event. We'll see where that goes. Yeah, any other year, I could see this game winning game of the year. It's that good. So, yeah. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments. What do you guys think about Split Fiction? Have you played it? Have you not played it? If you haven't played it, why haven't you played it? Are you planning on playing it, especially after our review? What do you think? And if you have played it, without spoilers, I think we kept it very spoiler-free here. What did you think about Split Fiction? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you have some complaints? Maybe some nitpicks? Maybe some things you wanted from it? But what did you really like about it? What were some of your favorite parts? If you do want to say something specific, put a spoiler warning. Who'd you play as? What do you want to see Hazelight do after this? I feel like they're just making bangers left and right, so the trajectory's only going to keep going. They're going to be able to make something great after this again. I can't wait to find out what that is. But yeah, what'd you think across the board? And if you want to grade it. Let us know what you're thinking about when it comes to Split Fiction in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this episode of Game of the Month. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you, Shelby, for joining me for this conversation. And thanks if you made it all the way through this episode. I've been Seth, and until the next episode, have a good one, guys, and take it easy.